Hello friends, I am Dr. Poonam Kela, working as an assistant professor at Modern College of Pharmacy, Nigdi. Today I am going to conduct a lecture on hypertension. So in this PPT, I will cover definition of hypertension, classification, etiology, epidemiology of hypertension, signs and symptoms, pathophysiology, risk factor, complications, diagnosis and treatment of hypertension. So we will see one by one. First, what is hypertension? Hypertension is the rise in arterial blood pressure than normal. The normal blood pressure is 120 by 80 mmHg. It also refers as imbalance between cardiac output and peripheral resistance. The classification of hypertension is categorized as prehypertensive, stage 1 hypertension, stage 2 hypertension, isolated systolic hypertension and malignant hypertension. All these hypertension, the systolic and diastolic both blood pressure get increases, but only isolated systolic hypertension, the systolic blood pressure get increases and diastolic is as normal. The malignant hypertension is very severe condition because most of the patient get unconscious in malignant hypertension. Hypertension is also categorized according to cause in primary hypertension and in secondary hypertension. The primary hypertension is also called as essential hypertension. The causes of primary hypertension is unknown. The secondary hypertension, in which the increase in blood pressure is caused by other concomitant diseases such as kidney diseases, endocrine diseases. Hypertension is also classified as benign hypertension and malignant hypertension. In benign hypertension, in which moderate elevation of blood pressure and the rise in slow over the years. About 90 to 95% of patients have benign hypertension. The malignant hypertension is marked as sudden increase of blood pressure to 200 to 140 mmHg or more. Only 5% of patients have malignant hypertension. Etiology means the causes of hypertension. The primary hypertension is caused due to genetic factor. The evidence in support are the familial aggregation, occurrence of hypertension in twins, epidemiological data, experimental animal studies, and identification of hypertension susceptibility gene. The racial and environmental factor survey in US have revealed higher incidence of essential hypertension in African American than in white. The next is age. As the age increases, the blood vessel loses its elasticity and undergoes vasoconstriction and increased blood pressure. Gender. Female shows less chances of hypertension than male. Alcohol consumption is another factor. Alcohol promotes vasoconstriction and leads to hypertension. The next is smoking, which is also causes vasoconstriction and leads to hypertension. Then weight. Obese patients have more amount of fat deposition in the vessels, so that there is the most chances of hypertension. Salt consumption acts as a precursor for blood thinning, so as increased salt consumption increased blood pressure due to the large volume of blood. Now we will move toward the pathophysiology. Pathophysiology of secondary hypertension concludes renal hypertension, endocrine hypertension, coarctation of aorta and neurogeny. In renal hypertension, it consists of vascular hypertension and parenchymal hypertension. The secondary hypertension can be produced by one of the three interlinking pathogenic mechanisms. In that, activation of renin-angiotensin system. As the blood pressure decreases, juxtamedullary cells releases renin. This released renin is transported to liver via bloodstream, where it acts upon substrate angiotensinogen to form angiotensin 1. Then it converts to angiotensin 2 by convertase enzyme secreted by lungs, which produce vasoconstriction. It activates aldosterone secretion by adrenal cortex, which leads to sodium and water reabsorption, which ultimately leads to the increased blood pressure. Sodium and water retention, release of aldosterone by activation of renin angiotensin system, which increases sodium and water reabsorption, result in increased cardiac output, which ultimately lead to blood pressure increase. The release of vasopressor material, which causes vasoconstriction of vessels. The next is epidemiology. Overall percentage of hypertension in India was 29.8%. The significant difference in hypertension percentage were noted between rural and urban area, as age adjusted hypertension was more in male than female in India. Now we will see the signs and symptoms. There was no symptoms for hypertension, but in some cases headache, dizziness and vomiting is observed. The risk factor for hypertension is being overweight and obese, too much salt in diet, too little potassium in diet, not being physically active, drinking too much alcohol, stress, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs such as aspirin, certain chronic condition, low vitamin in diet may lead to hypertension. Then complications of hypertension is cardiomegaly, complication affecting the heart is called as cardiomegaly, complication affecting the brain is called as brain damage, complications affecting eye is called as retinopathy, complication affecting kidney is called as renal failure, and complication affecting liver is called as hepatomegaly. These all are end organ damage complications of hypertension. Next is diagnosis. The diagnosis of hypertension can't be made based on elevated blood pressure. The average of two or more measurements taken during clinical encounters should be used for the diagnosis of hypertension. Estimation of creatine clearance of the kidney should be checked, as the normal creatine level is 0.5 to 1 mg per dl. Estimation of level of glucocorticoids is also useful. This estimation may suggest the presence of Cushing syndrome caused due to elevated corticoid level. The next is estimation of blood glucose level. If a patient is carrying diabetes, this may harm kidney causing HTN. The next is lipid profile test. Elevated lipid level may suggest hypertension or other heart diseases. Then ECG to check for the R wave suggesting left ventricular hypertrophy. The next is chest X-ray. This test may result in observation of enlargement of ventricles. Now we will move toward the treatment. First we will see the non-pharmacological treatment. If there is complete recovery with non-pharmacological treatment, then patient is no need to take pharmacological treatment. So first we will advise patient to perform some physical activity to lower their HTN. In an initial stage of hypertension, the non-pharmacological measures can be lower the BP in most of the individual. In some patient who do not shows any reaction even after 4 to 6 weeks, then we need to add some pharmacological therapy. So patient should advise proper exercise. Patient should not consume fatty diet. Patient should decrease salt consumption. Patient should avoid social habits such as smoking and alcohol consumption. Patient should maintain stress-free life. Here I have shown with the help of pictograms. Then pharmacological treatment. An individual care approach can be adopted for selective of initial monotherapy to match the requirement of the patient with the pharmacological properties and clinical effectiveness of the drug. The starting dose should be low and increment should be gradually with the therapy. So in that, first one is diuretics. Diuretics is again divided into three types, that is thiazide. In that, hydrochlorothiazide in the dose of 12.5 to 25 mg OD. Then second one is loop diuretics. The example is furosemide, which is given in the dose of 20 to 80 mg OD. Then potassium sparing, that is spironolactone, 25 to 100 mg OD. Another class is calcium channel blocker. In that, amlodipine 2.5 to 10 mg BD, nifedipine 5 to 20 mg BD, beta blockers. In that, metoprolol 25 to 100 mg OD, propranolol 100 to 120 mg BD, atenolol 25 to 100 mg OD. Alpha blockers, example are prazosin 2.5 to 5 mg OD, ACE, that is angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitor. The example is ramipril 1.25 to 20 mg OD, captopril 12.5 to 75 mg BD. Then angiotensin 2 receptor blockers, examples are losartan 25 to 50 mg OD, telmisartan 20 to 80 mg OD. Centrally acting vasodilators, that is methyldopa 250 to 500 mg OD. It is safe in pregnant women. Then minoxidil 2 to 5% used typically. These are the references. Thank you so much for listening.